The next team is News Contextualizer Dashboard.
All right. Hi. Good morning. My name is David Bull. I'm here representing our group, Group 23. We've got Elizabeth, Mao, and I'm Hawara. I'm like, what's your last name? Michael. That's right, Mike. So it's David, Mike, Elizabeth, and Mao, and we're here to talk a little bit about news and context. So I had a lot of time to think about this on the drive here. That's why we're a little bit late, but that's okay. And I want you to just take a second, and I want you to think about the last news headline that y'all read. And I want you to think about what did it mean to you? How did you react to it? Was it true? Was it false? Did it make you angry? Did it make you happy? Yeah, I heard a laugh out there. And I think that's kind of what inspired our project, right? The news in context. There's a lot of talk out there about fake news. People see these articles and they're designed for fast consumption. They're designed to kind of make you react really quickly and feel a certain kind of way. And so instead of calling things true, things false, what we wanted to do was take a different swing at it and look at, can we give people the tools to present these news articles in context? Go ahead, next slide. All right, so there you go. Too much news, not enough context. Things go fast. In today's media environment, it's hit, move on. The problem is headlines are biased and incomplete. It depends on where you're looking at, right? It depends on what news sources you like. The approach right now, kind of looking at this, and you see some of the things here, panic, tariffs, oil, these are all things we hear. But I think a lot of people are thinking about, is this true, is this false? And to which I would respond, what is true? What is false? Without context, it's very, very difficult to parse what you read and what you see and really understand the entire story. We want to understand more than that. We want to understand the tone. We want to understand the perspectives. We want to understand the bias. So that's what we're aiming to do with our tool. Next slide. So this is kind of just a quick set of screenshots from our tool. So what we aim to do is first we take an article in and we summarize it, and we get a Genie-powered summary here. Then we try to classify the sentiment and the topic, right? We want to know what's the tone of what we're reading. Is it positive? Is it negative? And what's it about? Like, what are the topics underneath? And then finally, we want to give context. So what we aim to do is actually take the article that we see, look at the bias of the article, and then give some alternative biases. You can, this here was actually from a left-wing news site, and so we generated a center bias and a right bias news source. When we did this, we used something called All Sides, which is a company that goes out there and it ranks media sites by their bias. So we filtered it kind of through that prism, and then we provided alternative viewpoints on the same article. And it was built entirely within Databricks. We used LLMs to generate most of the content. Slide. So here's kind of an example. Don't just take my word for it. So you can see here kind of how it works, the sentiment. These are the same article, right? It's about the South Korean president and the impeachment. And you see here the first one is negative, neutral, politics, same kind of topics, right and left. And so the idea, again, is to get the context, right? It's to understand is what you're seeing the entire story. So it was designed for people like the people in this audience, but also just normal, everyday people, right? How often have you wanted to know whether or not what you're looking at is the whole story? And that's kind of what we aimed it at. We wanted to be easy to use, fast, and we want to be able to display all the context. Next slide. This is a quick just rundown of the tech. Takes in the article URL, feeds it to several LLM agents. They do the summarization, they do sentiment analysis, they do topic classification. Then we use a retrieval augmented generation style retrieval, and we filter by the bias. We check to see if there's a fact check available, Snopes, whatever. And then we display all the different context inside of the notebook. So let me see. Yeah, that's all. Next slide. Are we able to roll the demonstration? 90 seconds, perfect. That's all I need. I'll keep talking while he goes. So basically, the idea is not only to present the news in context, right? But it's also to be able to ask questions. And that was something else that we kind of focused on with the Genie LLM is, can we ask questions about the article? And if we can't get it slow, that's fine, but I think we're coming up now. Ooh, we're gonna make it. Let's see. Got it? All right, that's all right. We'll keep going while they try to get that to load. Ideally, what you would see is you would see the news article would load, the summary would load, and then you would be able to see the sentiment and the different kind of topics that are there. In the future, kind of what we hope to be able to do with this and kind of how we want to extend this is we want to be able to use it to maybe filter breaking news, right? When new topics come in, can we quickly contextualize those topics and look at all the different viewpoints to try and slow down the flow of misinformation, to slow down the flow of the things that come up that maybe aren't the entire truth, but part of the truth. And ultimately, what we want is we don't want to tell you how to think. We want to let you think for yourself and give you the tools to think about everything in context. And that's all we got. Thank you very much. Dose. Excellent. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So thinking just right off the top of my head, I think the LLMs, right, because we were built on kind of multiple different agents all kind of running at the same time, definitely, computing overhead would be a big piece of it. Do we have, how tokens, that kind of stuff, like how do we serve it, I think would be a big part of it. I think also, like I think the next biggest challenge would be helping people really understand what they're looking at would be a huge consideration because, and here's the thing, can you go back like 2 slides real fast? I just want to show the judge. So here, one more slide. So right here, we talk about fact checking, right? And like getting people to trust what we're doing and that the way that we're going about this is viewpoint neutral, I think is honestly the biggest challenge besides any technical challenge. Because, again, it's a very hyper political environment out there. So how do we get people to realize, like, hey, we're not trying to tell you what to think about. We're just trying to give you the tools to think for yourself. That would probably be the biggest challenge. Absolutely.
Anyone else?
Great job presenting. You might have had this, but is there a summarization, once you come back with the news and the context summary, is there additional data that you can provide the end user which is somewhat neutral based on the facts so they can actually understand from more of a neutrality perspective?
So yes, so there's a couple different ways we go about this, right? The first way is the summary. Because the summary, the way the agent is prompted, is give me a no opinion, 2 to 3 sentence summary of the article that's viewpoint neutral. But then also, if you look, there's like the fact check, I think would be the other big piece of that. Is that you can click each one of those, the articles, oh, hey, there it is. The articles are clickable. So you can actually go and look at the viewpoint. Don't just trust our word for it, right? You can actually go, and it summarizes, but it also gives links to each article with the viewpoint next to it. So you can kind of, it's the idea again, like I was telling the other judge, is to build trust. Because really, that's the biggest challenge in today's environment, is getting people to trust us and getting people to trust each other. So the idea, again, is to build conversations and not necessarily, tell people whether or not they're right or wrong.
Thank you. And if you've got questions for